We Got a Podcast was filmed before a live internet audience.
Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast normally about Dragon Ball. From Earth to Jirai to Geminar, we're going to cover it all. My name is Randy.
And I'm magical girl Dougie.
And I'm the sleeping beauty on the balcony, Ken.
Ooh, that's good. We are the world's strongest under the heavens. Chosen here every other week. Maybe, I don't know. We haven't really talked about what our live schedule is going to be like for this. But we're going to do a deep dive into all things alien girls, laser swords, and spaceships. And we're live. So we wanted to continue talking about Tenchi. You guys wanted more, so we're doing more. If you're catching this episode audio only after the fact, you can come hang out with us live on YouTube to watch and chat and all that other fun stuff. Next episode, Ken, are we going to shoot for 2 weeks from now, April 15th?
I don't see any reason why not. I mean, unless one of us doesn't get our taxes done, yeah.
It's true. That's the
knock,
big day.
knock. The IRS is here.
And so if this audio sounds a little different, we did talk about it last Tenchi episode, and in case you're jumping in here from our Dragon Ball episodes, the only way that we were going to keep reviewing Tenchi, the only way I was going to keep editing these episodes was to take all the editing out of it, basically. So there's not going to be a whole lot of edits in here. What the audio that you're hearing is straight out of Discord, and then run through Levelator. But for the most part, this is kind of the raw recording as we're live on YouTube right now. And so just so you know, this is the only way we're going to keep talking about Tenchi. It was not going to happen otherwise. I would go
$10.
crazy.
$10 says Ken decides to edit just a little bit. Let me just edit a little bit.
I gotta. No.
gotta get a hard stop.
I mean, maybe,
like,
just.
There it is. There it is.
Well, we'll make sure that Ken doesn't, get lost in the sauce of editing and, messages us like, oh man, check out my timeline. I'm going crazy over here.
I just had to recreate all of us in the Cheers live action.
Oh, wow. He AI deepfaked us into an episode of Cheers.
We're just moving. Yeah.
So it's just us at a bar talking about Tenchi.
Hey, Edit, cut out
this guy.
Cut out this clip of me talking about Cheers real quick. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Please and thank you.
Nope.
Not germane to the actual discussion. We can't have that here.
What are we here to talk about?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So we're here to talk about some Tenchi stuff. If you've been following along, we did OVA 1, which is episodes 1 through 7 of the original home release stuff that they were putting out basically kind of once a month because, they were doing this before then they started to do a TV series that would air weekly. But this was kind of their bread and butter of like you buy a VHS tape or a laser disc of an episode and you watch it and then you wait a month and you buy the next one. And that's how you're going to get your story. But we had finished that whole thing. Then they took a break and they did a special. And then they continued doing OVA 2, which is basically just season 2 release of just more episodes in this story. So we're going to cover that special and then the first episode of OVA 2. And if you don't know some of the behind the scenes stuff on Tenchi, guess what? I got you covered. So originally created by Masaki Kajishima and Hiroki Hayashi, done by Studio AIC. They did Persona 4, the animation, Bubblegum Crisis, Oh My Goddess, whole bunch of other stuff. And it was originally pitched as a comedy follow-up to Bubblegum Crisis. And they said, and the higher-ups were like, no, can't do that. So they said, all right, cool. We'll just do our own thing and incorporate all these ideas into that. So they did that, and they did this OVA timeline, and then they did more TV series and movies and stuff. And they've just been going hog wild ever since. I mean, there's years in between certain things coming up, and there's all of that stuff. But guys, we did this one Mihoshi Special, and we did episode 1 of OVA 2. It's time for our patented temperature check. How did you guys feel about it? And of course, I'm going to start with the old standby, Dougie.
Hey, dude, just as much as the first 6 episodes or whatever we saw, I love these episodes too. Just so charming. I even watched a bonus episode of Mecha, what's her name, Washu, just by accident, because I had no idea. I still don't understand this whole OVA 2 season 3 part 25 thing. There's so many Tenchis out there. Tenchi in Galaxy, Tenchi in Space, Tenchi with bubblegums. I don't understand all this. So just, I don't know. It's not, I wasn't riffing on you, Randy, when I'm like, what episode am I supposed to watch? I was riffing on more Tenchi and the show itself having so many different.
Yeah.
So
for reference, about 2 or 3 hours ago, Doug, in a panicked state, jumps into the Discord. What am I supposed to watch, guys? What is it called? What is this? Where is it?
Now, to be fair, I think I have some stuff messed up on my Plex server where like season 1 has like 20 episodes, which is something messed up. I'll have to fix that.
It's
So,
yeah,
like-
your universe episodes are included in there.
Universe got in there.
But even
Man,
then, the
that's
math doesn't
separate.
The math doesn't add up either, so I don't know what's going on.
Because I was expecting just to follow like, okay, where's OVA 2? I don't see OVA 2. Let me just click on this. Season 2, episode 1 or whatever. I was lost.
That's okay. But you can always remember, if you or any of the listeners, watchers out there get confused, Google is your friend. There's a really nice, subreddit out there for Tenchi stuff that I go to all of the time. They'll help you out. You can also, of course, just take a look around, Google some stuff. There's a wiki. It's all that other good stuff on there. But it's a little bit wonky. But either way, that's what we did. We did the Mihoshi Special and then episode 1 of OVA 2, which is called Hello Baby.
Can I ask why we did these episodes in this order? Not complaining, just wondering what the significance is.
That's an excellent question, Doug. So the reason why we did it in this order is because it's release order. They finished OVA 1, which was 6 episodes, and then they did that addendum one that was the one that we covered with Lance on our last episode for Tenchi. And then whilst they were working on the Tenchi Universe TV show, they also made this Mihoshi Special and then continued with OVA 2. So if we wanted to stay in this timeline of things, just go in release order. So this came out before this next episode of OVA 2. And that's why we did it that way. I've got release dates and everything. I'll tell you all the times of
I'm
like
sure you
when
do.
stuff came out.
But I was just kind of confused as to like who this Kiyone person was, and were we introduced to her before these 2 episodes?
So this is your first time being introduced to her. And she is actually one of the main girls that lives in the house in the Tenchi universe.
Yeah, I definitely
spin-off.
seen her like in promotional art, just in the zeitgeist of this universe.
But this is her only entry, as far as I know, in the OVA timeline. I haven't seen past OVA 3, at least not much. So I don't know. Maybe she makes a surprise thing. I want the end. We'll talk. I'll have my theories at the end. But that's cool. I'm glad that you enjoyed these 2 episodes, Doug, and had a good time. Ken, I know that before you had said that Tenchi is all about the slice of life stuff for you. So I do want to hear what you had to say about these 2.
Okay. Mihoshi Special, I don't know. I could take it or leave it. I'd never seen it before. This is actually my first time with it. It's just so removed from everything else, and the art isn't quite there. There's a lot of questionable shots. It was like the B team on this episode. I love seeing Kiyone. I have seen Tenchi Universe and Tenchi in Tokyo, so that was really nice getting to see her, and then how that kind of ends up like, does she exist in the OVA continuity? Did Mihoshi make her up? Did she die? Is she really out there in space somehow? Like, that never gets addressed in the show, I don't think. And so
she doesn't become a villain.
Yeah,
I'll kill you.
A nice little side thing. But the first episode of OVA 2, I think, guys, might be my favorite episode.
Whoa, really?
That we watched so far.
It's got a lot of good stuff in it. Like, it had me tear up.
I don't think it's even close.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a lot. I need to rewatch these episodes over and over again to get that feeling. But that's the best thing about this show too, is I didn't mind, because I watch it dubbed and subbed as I usually do. I'm like, it never felt like a chore. I'm like, yeah, I want to see what the Japanese side has to offer, kind of thing. And it's just a joy to watch again.
Yeah, it's just incredibly watchable, I think is a good way to put these episodes. Just Tenchi in general. I mean, it's fun, it's funny, makes you tear up. It's got everything you could ever want. I really enjoyed these 2 as well. The Mihoshi Special is a thing that I have not seen over and over again like other things. I do feel pretty proud of myself, because it was the thing that I had never seen for a long time. And then back in the day, Right Stuff existed, first of all.
Yeah.
And they would have a thing on their site for like individual things, like, here's how many quantities we have left of this. And Pioneer was out of business, Genion at that time, so they weren't reprinting anything. And I saw that the Kiyone, the Mihoshi and the Pretty Sammy Special DVD combo pack was down to like 2 left. I'm like, whatever, I'm pull the trigger. And this was like 2007, 2008. So I got like one of the last 2 that Right Stuff had. And so that's on my shelf in the other room.
Nice. I love when that happens.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I got that. But I haven't watched it a lot. I will say the Mihoshi Special, also, I wasn't super crazy about. It probably didn't help that the first time I was watching it, I was kind of doing some other stuff because I was like, oh, I'll just have it on in the background. It's inconsequential. And then I decided, when I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch it Japanese subbed and take notes, like obviously I really want to pay attention here. And I enjoyed it more that second time around. So that was good. I liked it. The first episode of the actual OVA 2, I'm going to agree that it is really, really good. So I also teared up. I get very emotional for that episode. It's very, very, I don't know, just it hits the right emotional beats and it gives us a whole new perspective on a character that was recently introduced. So I think it, really succeeds there.
Before we started watching these episodes, you guys kind of like just vaguely were like, oh, you ready for this episode where you kind of feel emotions for Washu? And so because I watched the wrong episode of the Mecha Washu, I'm like, oh, when the robot blows up, is that what was so sad? I guess I don't know. And then I watched the right episode. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, they did a great job. And within one episode to give you that emotion and connection with this character, it was great.
Now let me ask you guys something real quick about the Mihoshi special specifically. Is the acting in the Japanese version as awful as it is in the English? Like intentionally, I think.
It's an interesting question. I'm glad that you noticed this because when I had first watched it, I remember thinking like, was this the first thing the English dubcast did before doing episode 1? But I don't think that's true. So I'm wondering when this one was tackled, if it was in the middle of stuff, it was tacked onto the end of just a thing. Cause I felt that, I don't know, it wasn't all there. And I can't quite tell if this is or remember if this is our second Mihoshi actress or our first one. It sounded kind of like our first one because I believe she has like 3 throughout.
Does she really?
All of the time. Yeah, exactly. Dang. So it did feel off to me.
I didn't notice any. Well, that's probably just I was so charmed by the story or whatever. I didn't really notice, which is rare because I am usually hyper aware of like bad acting in both dub and sub. But yeah, no, nothing.
I felt the Japanese. I didn't notice any issues there. It was just because I was more locked in and paying attention. But like I liked that.
But like you said, it could have been because it was basically a storytelling episode where it's just basically Mihoshi retelling a story. So maybe the bad acting was intentional.
I think it had to have been.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Let's get into it proper then. So we're going to do the Mihoshi Special or Galaxy Police Mihoshi's Space Adventure. And that one came out March 25th, 1994, just 2 months after episode 7, which was the one we last time covered with Lance. So 2 months after that, this thing dropped. And the events are as follows. Taking a break from household chores, Mihoshi tells everyone a story of her time at the Galaxy Police working with her partner Kiyone. She recounts how they hunted down the robber of Ultra Energy Matter and saved a kidnapped detective, casting other members of the household as characters in the tale. Sex, mad science, a magical girl, what could go wrong? So let's just go into it right from the start. We have a very interesting opening. It's a new song and everything, and it's just Mihoshi in a as a child in a dress running through all of these different fairy tales. We've got Snow White, Hansel and Gretel.
Okay. This CD I'm holding here for the audio listeners is the Tenchi Muyo CD. We've talked about it before. It's the one that you could find at Walmart back in 2000, and it just has a lot of the vocal songs on it as sung by Randy. Do you have the name? I don't have the name handy.
It's split between 2 different singers, so I don't remember them super well.
So, anyways, this CD has tracks such as I Am a Pioneer, Dream Away, Washu's Lullaby, Sleeping Beauty on the Balcony, which is the first one we hear here. But then there's also Pretty Sammy and the Magical Girl, and then I'm just going to skip past some other ones. The Lonely Moon, Talent for Love, Tenchi Muyo Ryo-Ohki's theme. So I am interested to see by the time that we get to the end of at least OVA 2, because that would be the relevant time, how many of these songs have we hit? Because I think we hit 4 or 5 of them in these 2 episodes.
Yeah, surprisingly a lot of insert songs. Now, does that CD play the English tracks or Japanese tracks?
English.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
It's all good stuff. I'm very impressed because it's not really a thing we do a lot in dubs as far as I know, is translating those songs and having them be part of the show.
Well, I'm sure it's the
And
Wild West where it's like, should we translate this? Because it's like anime is new to the world. Like they're not ready for the Japanese music or whatever. I don't know, but
But even nowadays, it's different. We never got Chala Head Chala in proper English, I'll say. We never got any of the Naruto openings in English, but One Piece has had, I think, every opening dubbed, unless they stopped doing that.
really,
I want to say they only did like the first like 4 or something like that. At least as far
Really?
as back as I can remember. They might have done more in between, but I seem to remember at some point when I was watching it, which I got through up to, I think, Skypiea, they kind of stopped doing that. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Somebody else out there, you probably know, and you're screaming at me
But-
through your
Please do.
screen.
It's Dragon Ball now does it for every opening, I guess, except for I really don't know if they've done it for Jakajan or not, but they've done it for all the Kai openings.
Oh, yeah.
well, Dragon
Fight
Ball's
it
the most
out.
American anime. Well, I guess the one Americans are pushing the most to be American anime.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
So I think nowadays it's, you don't expect it, but it does still happen sometimes.
Yeah, and it's cool because it shows effort. Like someone had to literally sing it again. They had to find the singer and then
Yeah.
do it in English, make
The
it all
Lupin the
fit.
third opening is in English,
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't notice this intro until the second time around. How it was a Snow White and like these fairy tales. Like it took me like a minute. And like wait, after seeing Ayeka as the Wicked Witch or whatever, I was like, oh, it's Snow White thing. I get it. I just saw Ryoko laying down. I didn't look at her outfit. I'm like, she's just relaxing. It wasn't until the second time I saw like, oh, she's wearing a Snow White outfit. It's funny.
How good did that house look to eat?
It looked like bugs. It didn't look good to me. It looked like hairy bugs.
Anime food to me just hits different.
It typically does. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked tasty. I liked it. I would have definitely been munching for sure. So that whole thing kind of ends with Mihoshi being woken up. She's dreaming, having a nap while everybody's, doing their chores. But I like that she immediately just calls Ayeka an old witch, which of course has been like, she's very touchy about how
Yeah.
actually old she is.
And
So
a
that's
recurring
good.
joke within this episode for the entire run, which is
Right.
great.
Ryoko playing straight up a Game Boy. Like it's very detailed down to, the power switch and everything on there.
Well, at the time, there were Tenchi games, and at least I know on the Super Famicom.
Yes.
I'm not sure about the Game Boy, but yeah, so they were already publishing stuff on Nintendo consoles.
There is a RPG, like a tactics RPG for the Super Nintendo for Tenchi, and it's pretty good. There is an English translation out there, so you can hunt that down and you can play it. It's fun. I liked it. So my next note here is that we finally, I think, get like a thing of what Mihoshi's class is, which she's a B1 level detective. I don't know what that is.
She makes it sound impressive, but who knows? That could be Mihoshi not really knowing.
Well, they've said that she's very good. It's just that she's overworked and, has a lot of collateral damage, but she always gets her man. So it's got to be at least pretty good. I assume there's A above, B1, but just my thoughts. And she's going to tell them the story of the Ultra Energy Robber. And I just wrote here, Mihoshi rethinks that maybe she should keep the story to herself before then just going ahead and doing
Yeah,
it.
I
Is
love
there
that
anything else I'm missing?
quick, just like, come on, tell us. No, come on. All right, fine. It's kind of joke.
So this takes place in the year of the Galaxy Economic Crisis, which, sure, why not? I assume that's relatively recent because Mihoshi is the same age. I don't think she's hundreds and thousands of years old like everybody else. I think she's
You don't know
pretty
that.
much normal. I don't, actually. That's...
She's got those demon ears.
Oh.
I don't think it ever
Doug,
comes
we're-
up, but
Okay, gotcha. I know that in other lore stuff we get later, we learn some things about family members, so I don't want to
Right,
You know,
spoil
just
that. Yeah.
blanket be like, she's only like actually 18, 19 or something like that. But anyway, she talks about the wicked space pirate robbing the ultra energy matter. And it's like, we'll just call her Ryoko for now. And Ryoko like steps out with this sick outfit with a cloak and
Oh
a
my
huge
God.
pole and a scouter.
Yeah, the scouter.
that's going to be the
yeah.
thumbnail for this episode. I'm already telling you right
gotta
now.
be,
Hell
yeah.
Perfect.
Dude, but
Yeah,
also
'cause that looks
Tenchi, when
good.
Tenchi shows up with the bandana that flows in the wind, God, it made me want to get a bandana and like have a slow mo like wind blowing and have that flowing in the wind. It looks so cool, man.
I feel so bad for you, Doug, because I feel like if you watch stuff like this, your immediate thought is like, I gotta have a figure of that, and it's like, man, I'm so sorry.
The thing that made me want that was the little mini Ryokos, the robots. Like I want one of those.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
robots. They're just so cool.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of cool looks in here. I do like that we kind of have the Dragon Ball Z movie 11 thing of like, what is ultra energy matter? It's matter that's ultra energy. Or
I thought of that too. It's what's the thing in the movie?
Biotechnology.
What is biotechnology?
Genetic engineering. Yeah.
And what's genetic engineering? Yeah, you get it.
Yeah, it's funny.
But yeah, then we have Detective Tenchi. Yeah, I like where it's because like he catches Ryoko like on that ship when she's, robbing stuff, which I really, really dig. And then we get Kiyone introduced.
Yeah.
Which is, for us, anyone going into this in hindsight is going to be like, oh, Kiyone? But for people watching at the time, they had no touchstone for her. It's just another character.
This is me now. It's like Kiyone. Like, it's like, what? Who is this character? But, I mean, I guess I did know about her, but just not, like, when were we introduced to her kind of thing? But yeah.
I would love to, when we get to Universe, if we do, really diving into why did they decide to adapt Kiyone into it, and was she a huge fan favorite?
See, the timeline is very interesting because this came out March 25th, 1994. Tenchi Universe starts airing in April 1994. I actually think that this is like 31 years since it started airing, like this week or something like that. So she was already in the pipeline. She might have been in marketing stuff for the TV show. I don't know exactly how far ahead they were marketing that.
So then, yeah, if you think about it, this might have been, this whole existence of this special might have been to help pump up Universe, get people excited for it.
Because things are a little bit different. Doug, I assume you've not seen Universe extensively. Episode 1 of Universe, rather than it focusing on Tenchi and Ryoko, is that Ryoko crashes on Earth because she's being chased by Mihoshi. So actually, Mihoshi and Ryoko both arrive at the same time. Oh. So she's actually around from episode 1.
Okay.
So I could see this kind of being as a little stopgap thing, but also like if you like these two characters, look forward to Tenchi Universe starting next week or whatever. So
I bet if we got like old Japanese magazines at the time, then that they all would have been like, check out the new girl from Tenchi Universe in this OVA.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about that synergy, baby. You got to have that.
I feel like there's always like a staple girl with long dark hair too, especially in anime, that was just kind of missing within this group of girls. So it was the obvious choice, I feel like, for the team.
I do like how she looks. She looks very sick, and also
they gave her the red bandana just to like kind of make her stand out even more. Like, this is a new character. Like, it really like made her unique in that aspect.
Right. And also, like, her whole shtick is she just kind of laments her life being worse ever since she got promoted to detective because she's been paired with Mihoshi, and she hates it.
Yeah, but she's the good like yin and yang to her though. It's great.
Right. Yeah. So then they get their assignment that they need to go and save Detective Tenchi, who's been taken by Ryoko. They don't know if he's alive or dead, so they got to go figure that out and see what they can do. And then Ayeka arrives as the fiance of Tenchi, and she is a Jirayan plutocrat and also apparently super old because everybody keeps saying
she's calling her an old hag,
an old maid. Yeah.
Oh my god, the Mihoshi joke of not joke, but like the serious concern, like she's got to find Tenchi because that's her last chance at a marriage, at a man. No, she's too old to find someone else. I was like, dang, get it.
Yeah. Mihoshi just completely oblivious to how anybody else feels about anything. She's just throwing it out there. We get another person who's there, which is apprentice detective Sasami, who is basically there to make tea.
And she was like, I'm not a tea maker, I'm a detective.
I love the whole part where she talks about, well, Mihoshi, if you could become a detective, then surely I can. And Mihoshi takes that as a compliment.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
If you look up to me, that's so great. Whew, just over.
While Kione's in the corner drinking her tea, like looking at her like, this freaking
girl. Gosh, that's so good. So they head out on their mission. I like that Sasami tags along, and it's like, why is she along for this? And Mihoshi says, it's because I can't have tea without her making it.
What a great dumb way just to make sure all your characters are included in this story. This telling of the story. It's great.
I feel like it's kind of wild for Ayeka's character, whoever this person is in the story, to also be tagging along. Like, you're not going to be in a ride along with the police while they're out looking for your.
But that's what I mean. It is that, like, you forgive that immediately because it is just it's just to get these characters in that story together. Like, like it's kind of meta in a sense. Like, everyone's gonna be included.
Of course. Yep. So they find the hideout, which is located on an asteroid among many other asteroids, and it's just a regular house on a rock, and I do just love that.
Yeah.
It's a good look. They're like, all right, we got to get in somehow, and Kiyone is like looking through the trash, trying to find different ways. Like, what can we do? We're gonna have to sneak around to the back, and Mihoshi just rings the doorbell. It's like I'm sorry, I saw it.
Immediately, like, yeah, I thought that was an obvious answer.
Yeah. And they bust in, and Tenchi is clearly enjoying his time having some sake with Ryoko, blushing cheeks and everything and giggling and things like that. Before Ryoko starts really hitting on him,
taking it too far.
Yeah, the nice thing about this house is that there's nobody around, so we can make all the noise we want.
Tenchi's like, no.
Yeah, she.
When I was watching this, I had like the gut instinct of how did Toonami handle this? And like, oh no, they didn't.
Yeah. This did not air on Toonami, as far as I know.
Oh, this didn't air at all? I thought maybe they just didn't edit it. Like it just. I was thinking like just different times back then, where it's just like, no, this is funny, kind of thing.
No, as far as I know, it did not air. The only thing which when I was watching it, I was like, oh, that was used in the Toonami like intro. Be like, Tenchi's coming up now. Is just like Washu, like Dr. Washu, like this is it. Like just when she's introducing her thing, I'm like, oh, that's weird to include that in the Toonami promo. So they at least had access to it, whoever was cutting those things. But yeah, it was never aired as far as I know. I could be wrong because I didn't know that, other Z movies after the first 3 were aired later. I was like, oh, that happened? Oh, okay. I didn't check because we talk about it in the episode that comes out tomorrow. But, I was watching sub stuff. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Ryoko hops on Tenchi and tells him not to resist. And of course, Ayeka arrives to save him. Ryoko's upset that they just barge into her house like this. I like that. So she's like, how could you just come into my house?
Doesn't Ryoko say, like, I've got your hard evidence right here?
Yeah. Very, very suggestively. That's hilarious.
Yeah. He's like, it's not what it looks like. She's like, I don't know. There's some hard evidence that it is what it looks like.
I think Ayeka gets called an old lady again, and that's when she like breaks out and just like crashes out and just starts going crazy on everyone and resolves the issues.
Rips everything off the kotatsu and picks it up and starts slamming around, hitting Ryoko and like everything around her, even attacking Kiyone when she's like, "Whoa, hold on!"
Yeah,
just psycho, super psycho mode. I love to see that. Ryoko slips on a sake bottle and knocks herself out and then gets arrested. But they don't find any of the ultra energy matter. So they have to be figuring out, like, could it be someone else if it's not Ryoko?
Is there a mastermind behind her that's controlling all this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they start looking, or Mihoshi starts looking through this photo album. They see another woman with Ryoko when she was a child. And I think Kiyone recognized her as the genius scientist, Dr. Washu. And then Kiyone says that it's fishy. It even smells like burning fish, which is then our pull back out to.
Yeah, but Mihoshi says that, but yeah. She repeats it twice. Like it's burning salmon, burning fish. I love these cutbacks. These cutbacks are what make it so charming. Like it reminds me of like in Rebirth, Final Fantasy Rebirth, in the beginning when they're retelling the story of Nibelheim, and then they cut back sometimes. They're like, wait, you did what? You went through my panty drawer? Cloud. It's great.
There's fish burning because Washu is in the kitchen and she doesn't know how to operate the stove, but was trying to make some fish, and everything is just on fire.
Because the tools are primitive. She can't cook with these primitive tools.
That's right. Yeah, man, they've got stupid stoves. They can't control the weather on this planet. This place sucks.
I mean, that logic is pretty sound. It's a lot harder to do something with simpler stuff sometimes.
Yeah. I can't make rice out of a pot. I need a rice cooker.
That's true. Mihoshi bargains with Ryoko, who she thinks is a kind person, showing her photos of her childhood. And it's like, I'll let you go because I think you're a real nice person and then we can work together. And then we cut to a news thing of like, there was a gunfight on the police station today when a woman escaped from prison and kidnapped a detective and left out of there.
Funniest joke I've ever seen. Because like, as Mihoshi and Ryoko are talking, like she's behind bars. Like you don't get the sense that she's acting like trying to trick Mihoshi. Like, oh, it's gonna be a genuine moment of like, no, you were happy, a young, kind girl at one point. It's like, let me free, and like, okay, and the hard cut to the news like earlier today, chaos ensues. While you see Mihoshi like just like, oh man, I up like in the corner.
Ayaka just seething, looking at the screen. Yeah. I mean, I fell for it too because this isn't Ryoko. This is a different woman who is being played by Ryoko.
Exactly.
So,
it's genius.
It is good. So they locate Washu's space fort. I'd like that they're like, through some, hardships, we did it. What kind of hardships? Stuff. Anyway.
There's the ship. Let's go.
And it turns out that it's just the Soja, which was Kagato's ship from episodes 5 and 6. I love the reuse of stuff. They infiltrate it just like the regular show because there's that wall of like, very square bricks that they're coming in through, which is exactly how Mihoshi and Ryoko and Ayaka came in proper. And then they step into a giant cockroach motel. Sure, why not?
Yeah. Everyone but Sasami.
Yeah, she catches on quick, but then unfortunately Ryo-Ohki sees a plate of carrots and goes chasing after it. Sasami, of course, chases after and oops, trapdoor, and they both fall down. Yeah. I like that we go from the Roach Motel to Mihoshi, Ayaka, and Kiyone crucified in a large
room. Like how did we get there?
That's why this never aired. Yeah, that's why.
Because it wasn't the sexual assault.
There was even stuff at the time in in manga releases of I think Full Metal Alchemist where there's a character being crucified and they had to change it so that he's just on like some generic rock or something.
Yeah, it's just like circular greed was being taken care of.
And it's just so like Christian normative to be worried about stuff like that. Like, who are you going to offend? It's not like a disaster. I don't get it.
Right.
A lot more people were crucified than just Jesus. It's not his thing.
Yeah. It was just what they did back in the day. It was their favorite thing. They didn't have the Super Bowl that they could look forward to. They're like, we got to crucify a dude.
We got to crucify someone.
So let's see here. They're crucified in the center of the room. Dr. Washu's great invention is complete, the Galaxy Destroyer, and it's just this big, oh gosh, I tried to write this down and then I forgot what it was. Is it a Moya something, whatever the Easter Island head thing?
Moai.
Thank you.
Or you just say the Choco guys from Dragon Ball Super. Remember?
Oh yeah, that or the statues from that one thing. Is it like the Bandai Visual? No, Emotion. That's what it is in 90s anime. It's just a logo at the start. Anyway, she's got this whole thing going on. Meanwhile, Ryoko ties up Tenchi to do totally regular stuff to him. Nothing to see here. Yeah. It's fine.
Nothing. There's not a reason he's on a bed.
No.
Yeah.
Dr. Washu activates the big weapon, and then it's just big hands come out and grab big mallets.
Yeah.
The destruction of the universe. I wrote the destruction of the universe and Tenchi's chastity. It's about to occur.
They say that. It's so funny.
Hilarious. And then like the mallet comes down and just stops right in front of I think Mihoshi because it like is hitting the universe and cracking and shattering it.
So cool. It's so Gurren Lagann. I'm down with this.
Yeah.
Gosh,
it's just a big laser beam heading for a planet. Like it's a creative way to make the universe end.
Something dumb and goofy, which is exactly what I wanted. I don't need it to be super serious.
Mm-hmm.
So Ryo-Ohki wakes Sasami, and I'm not even paying attention the first time I was watching this the other day.
I was.
I hear a voice. I'm like, who the hell is that? And it's Ryo-Ohki speaking human language to awaken
in a voice
Sasami.
you wouldn't expect him to have.
Yeah.
Like a triple take, like, wait, what? What is that? It's so funny. It's like
telling her, yeah, you got to transform into Pretty Sammy. And she's like,
it's time.
Okay.
How is this so? I love this. Is my favorite. It's like so normal. It's time. What? What did I really miss? Because you guys mentioned there was like a Sailor Moon type thing with her, like spinoff thing. I wasn't expecting it to pop up here like so randomly. Love it. Comedy genius.
It's very strange. So this is, part of that. Then there is the standalone Pretty Sammy OVA series, which is 3 episodes. That didn't come out monthly, and there's a huge gap, I think, between episodes 2 and 3. And in that gap between 2 and 3 coming out, the TV adaptation of Pretty Sammy aired, because there's a 26 episode TV series.
What?
Yeah. So that just
if,
happens.
If the credits are anything to go off of this episode, they nailed this theme of it or whatever. Like they know how to make a Sailor Moon type show. So yeah,
right.
Go at it.
So she gets her whole transformation sequence, and then
I just love the wink that Ryo-Ohki does during the transformation. Like he's Diamond, he transforms to Ryo-Ohki and like does like a wink, like and it floats away.
Gets her wand, which is just this huge club, which she then goes to save Tenchi by just bopping Ryoko on the skull super hard. Hilarious. Cut back, Washu is going to destroy the entire galaxy, smashing the air and cracking the universe in front of Mihoshi. Kione points out that if the universe gets destroyed, she'll also die. And Washu goes, it doesn't matter, so long as people recognize my genius.
Totally didn't even think about that either. Just like, oh yeah, screw it.
Has to rationalize it at the last second. Hilarious. Pretty Sammy arrives in the main hall with the rescued Tenchi, uses some magic dust to free the girls. And I just wrote here, doesn't somebody say, isn't this too convenient? Before then they just keep going.
Yes, I think in the real world, it doesn't come back to the real world, but you just hear someone's voice during it. Like, isn't that really convenient? It's so great. Yeah.
This thing does not take itself seriously at all, and I'm super happy for it.
I'm here for it.
With Mihoshi being the narrator. Actually, hold on. How does Mihoshi know about Pretty Sammy? Because I'm pretty sure by the end of this, she's like, I wonder who that was. Like, just super confused. But like, how does she know about this thing that happened where she gets woken up and is transforming?
It's just an unreliable narrator. And I would think that maybe, none of this matters, but some version of this story occurred. And it's all being warped and misremembered through Mihoshi. And then she's just like throwing in, she's like, oh, I have to include Sasami in this story because I've included everyone else, but I don't have a Sasami insert. And so then I think.
No, that makes sense.
A Pretty Sammy does actually exist. And then like she needed a way, she's just secretly a really good storyteller. So she knew to plant Sasami in there early on and have her separate and do that, So
there you go.
Mihoshi, genius.
So Washu summons a bunch of Mecha Ryoko. A bunch of angry little Ryokos, and Sasami just casts a spell to make them wake up and, desire love. And they all just ambush Tenchi.
Tenchi.
Oh, he can't get a break, this poor dude, So sad. Let's see here. So then we've got Baton Flash, which I assume is Pretty Sammy's special attack, where a heart smacks the remote from Washu's hand and Kione goes to grab it. Mihoshi chases after her, slips on a banana that is out of nowhere, and pushes Kione into the energy moat, setting off an explosion.
And then she goes, thank you, Kione, for your sacrifice. You'll never be forgotten. You pushed her in there by accident. And immediately, like, thank you for your sacrifice.
I like the meta angle of this, of they wanted to show Kione to hype up Universe, and they're like, but she's not going to be in this show, so we just have to kill her off immediately.
And what better way to do it than for Mihoshi to be the cause of her demise?
And because I didn't know about all the meta stuff in the future, this just came out of nowhere to me. Like, she's dead. Oh my god.
Oh, so the Soja explodes with everyone escaping, except for Kione, obviously. And like, what is it? Now we're kind of like back to the regular thing. Mihoshi is just, who is Pretty Sammy, I wonder? And everyone back at the house is napping, but Ryo-Ohki is the only one still like locked in and listening to Mihoshi's story.
Yeah.
Gosh, that thing is adorable. And then,
you glazed over how funny that joke was. That I didn't even realize the first time watching until she mentions it, that it was a secret who the identity was of this Pretty Sammy. I thought it was. I didn't think about it too much, like it's like a Sailor Moon type thing where it's a secret. So when she's like, but who, like out of nowhere, but who was Pretty Sammy? And then Sasami's like, who knows? And then it cuts. It's so good. I love this episode so much. It's so great.
Talking about it, and I'm starting to really like it a lot more. So then, that's when we get the Mihoshi just like remembering, like, I'll never forget your brave sacrifice. And then We get Kiyone in space amongst all the destroyed machines. Just, I swear, Mihoshi, I will kill you. Oh, God, it's so hilarious. And that's what I want. I want the end to the Tenchi OVA series for Kiyone to finally make it to Earth and then shoot Mihoshi in the brain. And then it's just credits. Like, suddenly very serious. Like, whoa, this was, we've been building towards this since 1994 with something that was supposed to be very funny. But no, this woman has clearly gone insane. Desire for revenge.
Fantastic.
Then yeah, like you brought up, the ending animation is just pretty much a episode of what Pretty Sammy would be.
Yeah.
We've got dominatrix black-haired Kiyone.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
It was
I'm into
great.
it.
Yeah.
It's like a fully bespoke, designed, storyboarded ending here
Yes.
of a different show.
Yeah.
100%. Like, wait, did I? It's so funny. It's so good.
Like Tenchi's wearing like a Letterman jacket and he gets like kidnapped or whatever. So Sasami / Pretty Sammy has to go save him. I see that Kiyone has 2 henchmen. One of them is Amagasaki, who is in the first episode of the Tenchi series. And then he shows up later in other stuff. I think GXP or something like that. And then just some other dude. And I don't recognize who he is. I'm not sure if he shows up in the Pretty Sammy TV series. Spoiler alert, I've never watched that. Maybe I will here soon because that would be interesting to finally.
Spoiler,
enjoy.
I haven't seen it. What do you mean?
Yeah. Spoiler.
I don't have any spoilers.
Just in case you thought I did see it. I don't know. But yeah, Sammy saves boyfriend Tenchi, who is kidnapped, and then they lean in to kiss, and then it pans up, and then that's the end of the credits.
Yeah, they very wisely don't show that.
Yeah, although it is heartwarming in the sense of like it's a young girl's fantasy, like all us young teenagers would fantasize of dating the older person kind of thing. So it's sweet in a way.
Yeah. Agreed.
But it's funny. The beach scene was funny in the credits where like they're on the beach date, but then Tenchi sees like Ayeka with like her skimpy bikini on. Ayeka gives Tenchi a wink, and he's like drooling. So okay, this is definitely a different universe of these characters. It's like it's fit to this story. It's so funny because Tenchi would never like drool over the girls like that. Yeah.
The song that's playing, I don't know if this is the same song they use in Pretty Sammy, but the song is called just Pretty Sammy, the Magical Girl. And this is the trials and tribulations of trying to translate Japanese songs. Like, I Am a Pioneer does not reflect the Japanese lyrics at all. They just do their own thing with it. I'm not sure that happened with Pretty Sammy, because Pretty Sammy has awkward lines like, thirsty may you be sometimes. You can say the magic words and you can have a drink.
Whoa.
To me, that seems like they didn't bother to adapt it, and they were just like, that's the translated line, and they threw it in.
That's Cardi B music right there.
Ooh, that could be fun. Do a remix of that and make it kind of be like that. But that's pretty good. Like I said, talking about it, I kind of dig the special a little bit more. Yeah, the animation
fun,
kind of B team, but
because it was a special, it felt like it could just be its own thing, even with the B team animation. It was just like it's a fun little side story.
Yeah, exactly. I liked it.
I am glad I watched it.
Good. I'm glad, because I know I was kind of pushing for it, because I was like, I want to do things in a release order, and this comes out before OVA 2 starts, so I think it might be kind of neat.
Okay, so Daughter of Darkness is a ways away then.
It's release order, so yeah.
I guess. All right.
But we can do release order for the OVA timeline, and if you really want to say...
I'm just teasing.
Okay. I just don't want feelings to be hurt. I love you guys.
Stick to your guns, Randy.
Okay, I will.
Host this bitch.
Okay, well, I will. So... Since this is a live thing, and we can kind of do other stuff that we don't normally do, this is kind of an in-between the special and going into OVA 1. We have had some chat stuff going on, right? Could we maybe do that?
Yeah, sure. Blue Baron jumps in here and says that I hope Lance guest stars again in the future. I do too.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
He's always welcome.
A good time. Oh gosh, Tenchi Universe turns 30 this year. Yeah. Well, I was 31, right?
When I read that, as you wrote that, I was like, oh, why you gotta hit me right now? I'm losing train of thought.
All songs should be dubbed in respective languages. Dubs Legends DBZ says, what's up, guys? What's up?
What's
Blue
up?
Baron says again, Toonami UK aired an awkwardly cut up version of the Mihoshi Special episode. That's good to know. Didn't know that.
Interesting. And Scott S says hello. So Scott.
Oh, yes.
He said hi. I'm going to say hi back.
Yeah, man. Oh, you know what? I got all my dates here all messed up. So the Pretty Sammy special.
Restart the episode.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the Kanzenchu podcast.
No. So this came out right. This was in 94, March 94. Tenchi Universe was April 95. So I thought it was weeks later. So it was a year later that we got Tenchi Universe. So I don't know. Maybe it was still part of the marketing for Tenchi Universe. You know, it's a year ahead, but could be. I don't know how big stuff
I don't know
was
how
back then.
in advance, stuff was announced. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. So sorry I messed that up. But yeah, hearing that because Blue Baron says the Toonami UK aired an awkwardly cut up version of the Mihoshi special. I mean, that's cool. You guys at least got it, on air somewhere versus here where it's like, we'll just skip it. So yeah, it is what it is. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not against that. But yeah, do you guys have any other last closing thoughts about the Mihoshi special before we roll into the next thing?
No.
Let's get it.
Go.
All right, let's do this thing. So, no, you know what? I have to read another thing first. That's the beauty of live.
Don't look. Why gotta do me like this?
Sorry. So, okay. So we're doing OVA 2, episode 1, which is Hello Baby. And that one came out September 25th, 1994, 6 months after the Mihoshi special. And I wrote here one day after the final episode of Tenchi Universe, which is not correct because then the years would be off, unless I'm severely getting it wrong. Oh, okay.
So
Doug
real
is
quick,
digging out some figures.
We've got a super chat from Matches Peaches. Thank you for writing. It says, "Where does Doug hide his figures?"
They're on my bed. I have to move them every time I want to go to sleep because there's no more room for me to hold them all.
Doug.
I mean, in theory, eventually, coming up soon, we may not see any figures behind Doug for a while.
It's coming up soon. Who knows what'll happen? Will I get a second bedroom in the house and move it over there? I don't know.
Gets its own bespoke bedroom.
I don't have legroom, guys. Under my desk is more figures. You have no idea. This is the only reason you can see these doors is because I need to access those doors. That's the only reason why they're not covered up by figures right now.
Sorry, Randy.
No, that's okay.
That's the power of super chats during the Tenchi episode.
They can fully interrupt us.
Is there any other secret places? Like, if you reached right next to your camera, do you have a whole bunch of other figures that are secretly right there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna move them because they're gonna break everything. The whole house is held up by these figures.
They're load-bearing figures.
Load-bearing figures. Yeah.
Of course, that makes sense. Okay, I just wanted to exhaust all possible places that they could be. Just make sure you're not sitting on them, on the chair or nothing. Oh, what's this?
No, you can keep going. I'm just showing off stuff.
Okay, that's fine. All right, cool. So, Hello Baby, September 25th, 1994, and 6 months after the Mihoshi special, one, and that's that. And then I'm going to go over what the events are that happened in the episode. Tenchi and the girls are saddled with watching Taro, Tenchi's first cousin once removed. I had to look that up. How do we describe this child?
Oh, yeah.
The baby puts Mihoshi, Ryoko, and Ayeka through the gauntlet before Washu takes on the responsibility of taking care of the baby, and doing so with flying colors. Washu connects with Taro so well he starts to call her Mama before his real mother recovers from an illness and has to be taken back home, and we learn so much more of who Washu really is. So,
all right, I got some beef with them calling Taro Taro.
Oh, yeah.
It
just evokes to be... All right, guys, time to make some enemies. Calling Mario Mario.
Oh, no, New Yorkers, no, hide.
He's Super Mario.
Super Mario.
Super Mario.
He's from New York, right? So it actually is Super Mario.
Well, I'm just saying officially, it's a me, Mario.
It's a Japanese trying to translate Italian, but New Yorker Italian. I don't know.
Would you call him Wario?
Yeah, Doug.
Does Taro mean something else in Japan as well? Isn't that like what you call generic boy, like Joe Schmo? How we say here? I believe. I feel like in Fully Cooley, I think they kind of reference that Taro name.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like you said, kind of the generic thing or like something you will add on to the end of a name
when you
to be
don't
like, it's a
know
boy.
someone's name or something like that. Yeah, like the boy. Like, yeah.
It's not like Kun or Chan or anything that you add on there as like an honorific, but it's just kind of like, well, this is a child and it is a boy. So
Speaking of which, this entire episode with Washu, hearing little Washu was very unsettling. Like, I know we got that when we were first introduced, like, call me little Washu, but it just sounds a lot better in Japanese, like Washu-chan. It's a lot more natural saying than little Washu.
Now, I know that Ken had to go in first to talk about his beef with the English dub, but we skipped the most important thing, which is, guys, we got a new OP. Which is I'm a Pioneer, an actual vocal theme versus the first OVA, which was just instrumental. So, Doug, was this your first time hearing this song?
I think so, yeah. I didn't know it had multiple theme music or whatever, so you can cut it now. You're gonna get us. Yeah. We're live on TikTok. You're gonna get us banned.
I can't cut it. Doug over.
Cut it.
And I don't know what Level 8 is gonna do to it. So.
Oh well.
But no, I have not. I've not heard that until then, and yeah, it's a bop.
It is a bop. I like it. I've had it like as an MP3 since I was like in 8th grade. I love that song so much. Ken's had the CD.
Guys.
Wow.
Name 3 songs off this CD.
I was bliss. Oh, no.
Washu's Lullaby, Lonely Moon. This
and
one.
I'm sitting by the doorstep for whatever.
I think this is such a standout song, but man, oh man, is this a terrible opening. I think some of the worst Tenchi art I've ever seen.
I think for my second viewing, I just skipped over it. Dang, Ebisawa, come on, man.
Sasami's eyes are out of control the entire time. It is like full on a third of her head. It's wild. And just like the weird direction of it, of like she like turns and Tenchi is just standing there doing nothing for a long period of time for look. Sunset.
Yeah, it's bad.
Well, this was the part of my watching of this where like I hit up Randy and then Randy decided to cut me off of his Plex, so I couldn't watch his episodes. So I'm like, screw it, I'm not watching the intro now. I'm just gonna go straight to the episode. So I didn't really give it a chance, but yeah.
Give it a try. The song's good. The animation for it is bad. Other than, of course, Ryo-Ohki coming out of the sea. Like, that's very cool. That's hand animated. And there's water coming off of stuff. That's neat. But it's just got good vibes. And I like it. And I just wanted to hit up that before we got too far. So we've got Quiet House, phone ringing. Ayeka answers, talking to Tenchi's aunt. So I had to look this up. This is Tenchi's aunt. Taro is his first cousin once removed because the aunt, of course, has the daughter. That's his cousin. And we never see that daughter here. I know she shows up later because I had to look it up in the wiki. And so
she and this is on Tenchi's mom's side because Ayeka says that Taro is of Jiraiyan blood. So it's, Katsuhito? Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That he would have had at least 2 daughters or 2 children. We actually don't know if it's a brother or sister for Tenchi's mom.
Not yet.
Yeah, and then they had 2 kids, or they had at least 1 kid, which would have been Tenchi's cousin, and then that kid had Taro.
You think Ayeka did this math, or I guess there was rapport beforehand, because obviously, Sasami is out alone visiting the aunt and everything, so there must have been a rapport that off screen.
There is so much time and history that has passed through with these characters that we're not privy to, and so you just have to fill in a lot.
Sometimes that's cool. That's great.
Yeah, I don't think we get anything of like that. It's an alien descendant sort of family member, because I think they just say it's his aunt and things like that. But I think then there's that one point where I think Ayeka brings up that part of the family. So there's that whole thing. It's
what a lore dump for just like a simple like she just wanted to say he's related to me. So it's special. Like that's it. But because she said that, there's that lore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's explicit in the dub, and I the way Randy you were talking, I wasn't sure if maybe that was like a dub fabrication.
Gotcha. I didn't take these notes until I was watching it subtitled, but I didn't notice anything there. But also, I'll forget stuff, so I might remember things as I scroll down and time passes and I'm reading my notes. So that's just what that is. Anyway, so Sasami has come back from visiting Tenchi's aunt, and watching this baby. I've never pieced it together in like the 30 years that I've watched this episode until last night while watching it, or even just writing my notes today of like, oh no, it was last night while writing these notes. That it's like, oh, how was it? And she's like, well, he was cute, and then just runs away. It's like, what? This is strange behavior.
I noticed it immediately. I'm like, what is with Sasami? I noticed immediately this happy-go-lucky child has nothing, just like runs to a room. Super weird. And they try undercutting it by like then quickly going, here, Tenchi, here's his gift or whatever. Which then also, do we ever see what that gift is? Or is that going to be like something in the future as well?
That's a good question. That might be the long game.
It doesn't come up
Sasami's
again.
having night terrors of Tenchi dying.
She did have that, but then
the previous episode, I must have forgot about that. But still,
oh, that's right, because that last one was she gets hurt, and then he's like trying to reach out for her, and then a big hand comes and gets him,
right?
And she, says, don't take him away, Tokimi. So
because it is specifically about Tenchi, like you see her uneasiness regarding Tenchi, like she immediately, it's fine, and then runs away.
Mm-hmm.
But still, really weird.
I didn't piece it together. I was just like, oh, it's just little kids being weird. I'm like, no, this has everything to do with
throughout the entire episode too, because she, like to see Washu cooking and not Sasami cooking, that's her thing. Like she's like there cooking, smiling, and being apart. For her to be alone, telling Ryo-Ohki, yeah, that's a baby, it's cute, and then Ryo-Ohki goes by himself or herself, and she just stays away. Like it's very weird for her not to be around during this episode. Very weird. And then the freaking ending gave me like chills. Like, oh my god, what is wrong? Like, it was something I didn't expect to feel with the Tenchi episode, but I'm so glad they did it. They executed it well.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I need to know what happens. That's the thing.
Well, then let's keep on pushing through. So we do get one quick random thing of Washu just in her lab, working at her computer, having a good old time and being productive. And then we've got the aunt coming back like the next day or whatever and explains like, okay, so Taro's mom is sick and we're going to be gone. So you need to watch the baby. Here you go. Here's the baby and all of his formula and some toys and blah, blah, blah.
You got plenty of girls in the house, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, as if like she can't just count on Tenchi to do it just because he's got a wiener. But whatever, it's fine. Gender roles.
Well, it is the gender role that really bled through in this episode. The gender roles of men and women with children or whatever. Because it's like, Tenchi's like, all right, I'm gonna go watch the football game while you guys take care of the diapers and everything. He doesn't do it that explicitly, but it definitely is a pass. Like, oh, this is fine. Tenchi doesn't have to help.
Yeah, he does help though. He's doing a lot here. So he introduces them to the baby. Mihoshi is like, oh, he's so cute. And I can't remember what Ayaka's response is, but like Ryoko's just kind of like, just like looking from the side. Her main thing is like, well, sure, he's cute, but Tenchi was cuter when he was a baby. So like, whatever.
Still does not like sit well with me. Like, oh yeah, that is the reason why she likes Tenchi, because she's been crushing over him as a kid. And it's like, I wish I didn't know that. Like it makes that every time I see Ryoko now, like attracted toward Tenchi, like in a genuine way, it feels like icky. And it's just like growing up, not really remembering that, I guess it was just a more fun, like, oh, they're just like falling in love now.
I don't know what it says about me. Yeah, go ahead.
I never got the feeling that she was like romantically interested in him when he was younger, but now that he's grown up to become this kind of like stalwart, shining
strapping
example
young
of a man. Yeah, that now she's like, oh, all right. Also, I'm not imprisoned anymore. Let's shake the dust off.
Yeah,
right. She's gotten to see him in so many different lights and things like that. So she loves Tenchi for who he is.
As the viewer, we got like a whoa! I realize I'm in love with Tenchi moment, like while she's out of prison. As opposed to just like, no, I've loved you the entire time kind of thing. I wish it was like just like a moment where like Tenchi does something really manly in her eyes and like, wow, this is the guy for me.
We've got more series to go. We've got a lot of stuff that Randy and I have never seen. So
it's true. Yeah, we could dive into that. I'm excited to get to there. So
Ryoko shaking his head.
Yeah. Ryoko just takes the baby from Ayaka and is like, oh, like I don't remember. She's like, oh, we can have this baby.
She pretends to have a family like already, like with Tenchi, like, look, me, you, and the baby, like we're together now, kind of thing.
Until Taro pees on her, and then she just hands it to Ayaka, and she's like, oh, okay, I've got a baby now. Oh no, now I've got pee on me.
An ungodly amount of piss all over her.
And she
This-
And
freaks
the
out.
diaper. What's the point of the diaper?
This episode is so relatable. I don't have kids. I don't
I was
want
thinking
kids.
the exact same thing, Ken. Like, how is this such a relatable thing? None of us have kids, but it's just like something you just hear this kind of like report from parents. I'm sure parents love this episode even more than we do.
I never held a baby until like a year ago. And I've held my nephew a few times and it's still weird.
It's like not for me.
And yeah,
Thanks.
I'm holding this child and their face is like right here. They could spit on me at any moment.
I'm more scared of dropping it. I'm like, I shouldn't be holding a baby. Like,
Yeah.
Well, Ayaka just straight up tosses that baby like a football into the air, which I like to see that Mihoshi not being stupid. She's like, I've got to catch this baby. So then she's just
Yeah.
sprinting and, of course, crashes into Tenchi. We're like, what happened? And it's like, oh, they caught him between the two of them.
yeah, this was the one moment. I'm not actively looking anymore because I'm just enjoying the show. But this is the one moment where dub and sub are very different in what happens with this catch. In the dub, they catch the baby, and then Tenchi says to Mihoshi, "How'd you like your trip?" Or whatever,
Oh.
because they both tripped. Haha, funny joke. And she's like, yeah, or whatever. But in the Japanese version, Tenchi's not talking to Mihoshi. Tenchi's talking to the baby. Like, oh, I'm glad you're okay. Like just like a generic like that. So I'm like, did the American people like look at Tenchi's eyes and think that he was looking at Mihoshi? So I need to speak to Mihoshi. It was very weird, like choice to change that line.
Yeah, in the dub, I thought he was talking to Taro too until Mihoshi responds. And I'm like,
Yeah. It's like maybe because Mihoshi responds, the dub people felt they needed to like have a conversation dialogue there, no matter how weird it was.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. This is that part then, Doug, where you point out that Sasami is still just sitting there looking out a window with Ryo-Ohki, and Ryo-Ohki is like, oh, I hear this whole baby thing. There's these big carrot pillows, and I want one real bad.
I want one
guys.
too. It looks so comfy.
There's like a bunch of them, like just on this one little landing thing. Oh, and the other thing that I was thinking about while watching this episode is that I never thought about it, but when we had Lance on last time, he brings up that after the house exploded, the new house is not the same. It's like the layout is different and like things have been changed. I'm like, so I'm consciously like looking like, yeah, we never had this landing here before. And like the stairs is in a different place and like the living room situation is all different.
Are there still the wooden beams like high in the ceiling where Ryoko can like lay on and everything?
Yeah. Oh,
that's what
they're-
matters.
Good. As long as they're there.
Tenchi takes the dirty diaper off of Taro and gives Mihoshi the job of replacing it, and Ayaka insists that she washes it rather than, cause she's like, oh, you're going to wash it? Well, I want to do something, so let me do
the
that.
gender role kind of kicks in there where I mean it's the kindness of Ayaka as well, like wanting to I don't know, wanting to impress Tenchi, but still like just the kindness of her, like, oh no, I'll take care of that.
Yeah. Mihoshi's got the how-to book on how to change diapers.
It's just cute.
So she's trying to figure this out while Ryo-Ohki jumps up and is like, cautiously investigating Taro before he just like gets tugged by the
Taro
tail.
grabs the baby, yeah, just whipping
Whipped
it around.
around.
No, immediate regret from Ryo-Ohki.
And Ryoka decides to show back up. She's going to be, the best mom, I guess. She's got this like just one piece pink dress and her
It's
hair
like
pulled
a-
up in
like
a
a mom.
ponytail.
Total mom
Right?
outfit, like
Very homely.
motherly. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks really cute in it too. So I got to give her that
Mm-hmm.
with the
I just
the
like-
ponytail.
The ponytail is wild because it's still her hair. Like they didn't be like, oh, now she has a regular ponytail. Like, no, it's still a Ryoko ponytail.
It's like Super Saiyan Trunks after the time chamber when his hair is like tied up in a
Yes.
the rubber band. Still wild hair, and they're trying to tame, buddy.
Yeah. And she decides, she sees the bag. And I didn't catch this the first time, but she like looks at it, she's like, And we know what's going to be in there is the formula. Tenchi sees the diaper job and tells her not to forget to put the cover on. I don't know how Japanese diapers work, or regular
Yeah.
if you're not using just disposable ones. Like you put you wrap them in a cloth thing, and then you put like, I don't know, some sort of
I would have
cover
thought the
over
other, all the way around or whatever, but yeah. I mean, the baby still pees through it all, so what's the point?
Well,
That's
you wash
true.
it,
Well,
but this is our, just wasteful American mentality kicking in.
That's true.
It's true. That's true.
You got me.
Disposable diapers. The landfills are filled with them.
Tenchi goes and takes the formula into the kitchen while at the same time Ryoko is coming through the wall from the kitchen with a bottle. So it's like, all right, cool. She's got the formula. Tenchi goes to make some, and then he sees there's a mess on the inner counter and says, somebody must have made some. And we cut to Ryoko holding the baby, just trying to shove it into his mouth. And Tenchi asks this weird thing, is like, what are you trying to give him this time? And she says, it's the formula this time, I swear. Like, what has happened in between now and just like earlier?
It was a very weird line. Like, what are you trying to give him now? Insinuating that something before you tried giving him to whatever. I think you watched the Japanese version too, right, Randy?
Subtitles said the same thing.
I don't remember it saying the same thing.
I was paying attention because I'm like, does they say this?
At least at the end, Tenchi was like, I knew it. Like he knew that he was just gonna give her the powder because that's what she does. She doesn't know how formula works. It's a very genuine Ryoko moment of like trying to be helpful, but doesn't know how this works to add water to the powder to make it liquid. So she's just feeding him quick sand. It's hilarious.
This makes, in context, that first episode, like, okay, you know what? Actually, that was in character for Ryoko when he's like, hey, what's that outside the window? And she's like, ooh, what is it? I want to see. Like, she is clueless to how, like, all of these Earth things work. She has no idea what's going on. So let's see. Here we go. Mihoshi finally gets the diaper cover on, and he instantly pees. So then,
probably because they took hours to figure it out, right?
Right.
It was like a different cut. It's like, because it's so funny because then. Doesn't it hard cut to Mihoshi outside with Ayeka cleaning?
Yep. Like, washing those diapers.
Well, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. They're using Azaka and Kamadake, the wooden guardian things, as a clothesline. They're questioning their lives. Like, what are we doing? It's like, exactly what you think we're doing.
Exactly what you think we're doing.
That's how you show a clothesline holding something and you bring attention to what's involved.
No, we're not talking about Daima.
Noibo? What do you mean Noibo? I don't see Noibo.
I like Ryoko flying around with Taro on her back. Like, she's like, okay, well, I couldn't feed him and I don't know how to change the diaper, but you know what? I could take him out for some fun, you know?
Super dangerous fun, but yeah.
Yeah.
She'll catch him and he's just grabbing on and pulling her hair. Like, yeah, that's probably what a baby would do, you know?
But she's still she's still so gentle with it too, because he's pulling on her hair and she's still like, hey, stop that, like in a gentle, motherly way. It's great.
Right. Ayeka trying to feed him and he gets excited and knocks the spoon right into her mouth. Apparently it's disgusting. I don't know exactly what kind of baby food she was feeding him, but
all baby food is disgusting. Like our mouths have taste buds that don't sit well with that kind of stuff.
I bought these banana crackers.
Yeah.
Hey, they're pretty good. I mean, they're super dense, but baby food's not as bad as you think.
Kids about to reach over and grab some, like, right here.
Yeah, right
it's my daily snack.
Yeah.
I remember being like a toddler or like in kindergarten going through the grocery store with my mom, and I saw the baby food aisle and like walked by one of them that I was like, that was my favorite. And I remember pointing out, like, I want that again. It's been a long time.
I think for me, it was like a sense of like, I never got to have this flavor as a baby, as if I would remember. I want that now. And like, now that I'm old enough to tell my mom I want it, I'm like, wait, you're old enough. If you're old enough to do that, you're old enough to not have baby food anymore. A dumb kid.
Mahoshi's attempt at doing things is Taro is crying and she says, please don't cry. Then immediately starts bawling and then he just kind of like stops and it's like trying to get her attention.
Of the montage, right? It's like a cute montage of like these the three women trying their best to be a mother. I would watch a season of this like alone. It's so great.
With Ryoko and Eika battling to feed him, of just like elbowing each other in the face, like kicking them.
My favorite part is when they're all exhausted and then like they're finally kind of asleep on the couch, but then the baby starts crying and almost just like in instinct, not like it's just like both Ryoko and Ayeka get up, but they bump into each other, just boom, and then knock out.
Yep.
And it's so funny. It's so like, baby's crying, we gotta get up, boom, done.
Gosh, that one's good. Let's see here. We've got Ryoko goes to change the diaper, gets peed right in her face. So then I think, does she then join washing out in the front? So it's like the three of them washing. Okay, gotcha. I know that is later where like the three of them are doing that. I think it's with Washu is there. But it's been a rough time. Tenchi decides to take a break in the onsen and have a bath. And he's like, all right, time to go. But then he hears Mihoshi just come in and naked. And it's naked. He doesn't see her, but he hears. And her saying like, "Oh, I can't breastfeed you yet." I'm like, okay, we're painting a picture with words.
Yeah.
Surely this scene was cut.
Yeah, I
It
didn't get a
must have
chance to. I didn't get a chance to sit and watch the Toonami cut for this one, but yeah, I would assume it's either entirely cut or the dialogue was changed.
They don't show anything, but it's just like Tenchi's face, just like getting more and more. What is it like? Not embarrassed. I guess embarrassed. Just like hearing this in the background.
Oh, yeah.
And to the point where
Yeah.
he passes out fully.
Yeah, that's the next thing we see of Sasami is she's like got the fan and just like poor Tenchi.
Yeah, just still reluctantly like with like this guy, he's gonna die kind of thing, and just kind of like you passed out, and Tenchi's like so normal, like thank you Sasami, with the thing covering his eyes, he still knows it's Sasami helping him.
We've got the girls who are running ragged, like Ayeka just as a zombie, just walking around, milk.
I love it. diapers.
They're holding Taro, waiting to because they got to put diapers on him, and I'm not sure if it's a weird animation thing, but like the top of his ass crack is blue, and I don't know what the hell that is.
I noticed that too. That was weird. It's a Japanese thing. You wouldn't understand.
Oh, okay, yeah, it just happens. Maybe I just don't know babies. Maybe that's normal.
All of them are Saiyan, so they have a tail that they cut off right there.
Is this supposed to be like diaper rash or something?
I don't know.
But
I don't know why it'd be
a blue phenomenon.
Yeah, I'm not gonna Google blue baby butt.
Baby's butt.
But it's just strange. So I had to at least put a note and be like, does anybody else know what the hell this is?
Hey, chat, can you guys Google baby butt for us in blue and see?
Thank you.
No, you don't need to do that.
So now it's middle of the night. Everybody is just kind of passed out. Taro wakes up and cries, and I like that Ryoko, who is barely conscious, just like immediately sits up, changes his diaper in a flash.
That must be like the most relatable parent moment too. Like right there, just I know what you want. Let me just get it done. Boom, done.
Yep.
But she can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Man.
So she's figured out her thing. He falls off the couch and goes exploring. He even just like lands on Ryoko and like slaps her in the face like a couple of times. Just does not react.
I keep imagining every time he does that, like him just saying "yosh, yosh, yosh," like calm down, like good person, like that thing. But it's so funny.
So he starts to go and explore and entering Washu's lab, which is hilarious because this isn't the type of place that you can just walk into, as she had said to me, Hoshi, last time. But here we go, second person to do it. And let's see, Washu takes it on herself to help the baby. His formula is no good, so she summons special formula from subspace that's got crabs on it because that's her motif. It's just crabs.
Can I say, totally had no idea this was going to be a Washu episode until this all happens too. This is incredible. But yeah, please continue. Like just like the wait, where's this going? We're only halfway done with this episode. This is great.
Yeah. She's just sitting in the living room. Totally dark. Everybody else is asleep, and she's just holding him and just feeding him. Like, gosh, that's so sweet. Tenchi comes down in the morning.
An experienced mother with all like the first time mothers around passed out. Like, I love that. It's so good.
Did you get that sense when you saw that scene, not knowing where this was going to go?
I think it must have been the second time around. I think it was the second time around I saw that. Yeah.
So Tenchi comes downstairs in the morning and sees that everyone is still out cold, but the baby is missing. So
yeah,
of course he doesn't know what happened over the nighttime, so he just freaks out.
He's been missing a lot of times throughout this episode, but yeah.
He goes in and Washu is in the kitchen with the baby strapped to her back while she cooks. Cute outfit with the hair tie things like sitting in the front to be the eyes for her crab hair. She complains about being stuck with the baby.
Sorry, how did she get all that hair tied up? That's what I want to know.
Right, it's wild.
Dude, her laptop is magic. Like she can just do whatever. She sits on a cushion that just is suspended in the middle of the air. It's so cozy looking.
This is a step too far, Randy.
This is where you cut it off. This is where.
So Washu hands Ryoko the baby, telling her to take proper care of it. She chastises her for not knowing how to feed him and says, "I didn't raise you to be a good for nothing." And Ryoko has the best comeback, like, "You didn't raise me at all. I didn't meet you until a month ago."
I think I must have said that to the screen as well at the same time Ryoko was saying, "You didn't raise her at all."
Washu, not phased, like, doesn't care that it's true. Whatever. I did not even see you your entire life of like 1,500 years. Hilarious. So So Washu leaves the baby with all the girls who are now coming into the kitchen. Tenchi thanks Washu, who goes back to her lab. And it's like, all right, cool. She's back in her regular outfit. She sits at her cushion and gets on the computer, type. And you can just see in her eyes, like, she's like, okay, focus, Washu. Okay, I'm trying to think of something else and I can't do this. And then it's just her kind of like sitting in her chair. The screensaver's going. Time has passed. She's like, I guess I'm just not getting any work done today.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's so good. Just
What is she doing,
showing
like what work?
She's an inventor.
She's making mecha Washu.
There we go.
Spoilers.
Doug knows the true lore.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Just trying to go through. Oh, I didn't scroll down far enough. Washu comes out to find everyone out cold, covered in formula, as Taro just dumps the thing all over himself. She takes him to the bath in the onsen. He yanks her hair, and as she looks at him, she remembers someone in her past, and Taro gets replaced in her memory by some small blonde baby boy, and a shadowy man comes and picks him up, and then her memory fades because Taro is pooping in the bath.
Yeah. First time I've seen a poop so solid from a cartoon, I think. It was there's no way. And then just a piece of solid 10-inch long piece of poop just comes out.
One time I took my dog to the beach and she went down to take a poop, and I've got my poop bag ready to go get it. But then the tide came in.
Oh, no.
And as she's pooping,
it just grabs it,
takes the poop back out and sends it back into the ocean.
No. That's nature, baby.
It's nature's problem now.
That's a circle of life at work right there. So I like that she screams. You see this explosion on the side of the onsen, which is the bathwater ejecting because now she's scrubbing.
She's cleaned it all. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just in a floating, basket up there, which is cute. And then we get a really fun insert song as she's just doing her own thing. I'm going to turn it down real low here. But a nice montage. Ken, how are the levels for that? Can you hear me all right?
It's louder than you think it is, I think. And again,
Okay,
I
we'll
don't
bring
know
it
what
down.
level is going to do it. That's my main concern.
It's fine for Randy and I, so it must just be louder on your end. But you're the one recording, so maybe
it's enough that I think Levelator is going to pick it up and try to boost it, and the whole thing's going to be worse. I just don't know.
Okay.
This is our first time, I don't know.
Randy's trying to get his band on the first go.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Yeah. We don't need music, Randy.
I just figured that for the live stream folks, people would want
that's true.
A multimedia showcase.
You're
Sorry,
right. Ken, just cut this out, Nick, when you edit it.
No, I'm not cutting this out. This is staying in. It might preclude us from monetizing the recorded version. So that's,
right.
I don't know what AI systems out there tracking.
Cents.
Randy, whatever. We know.
All right. So we get a montage and song of Washu feeding the baby while the other girls watch on. She holds him back from traumatizing Ryo-Ohki anymore. He's just trying to reach for it. It's like, no.
Yeah.
You can't attack this poor cat.
So about this song, Washu's Lullaby, makes me cry every time.
Really?
And it's
so good.
It's one of the best songs, I think, in one of the best episodes of the show. Yeah. It's just perfectly emotional.
I can't remember. Randy, can you play a little bit? Just kidding. Sorry.
I figured that was a just kidding. I was going to listen and follow your request.
I knew you were, so I had to stop you. But yeah.
You're always trying to get me. All right. It is very emotional. It's just, very sweet, very motherly. And I really, really dig that. He gags on a carrot stub and she's holding him upside down, pats him and just coughs it up. And Ryoko's like, mine.
Yeah.
You have to keep this. So tons and tons of dirty diapers washed by the girls. Washu with the baby on her back. She rides with him on Azaka and Kamadake. That is always really cute.
Oh yeah, that looks like something out of an intro for an anime. It looks so nice.
I wish that was the intro to this show.
Yeah.
So more nighttime feeding and cuddling. Tenchi comes out to see her with the baby and sits with her, saying that it looks like he belongs to her. And they talk about, baby's wants and needs, he cries because he can't talk yet. So that's how he signals, that he needs this or that. And Tenchi says that, she's notices that he's just staring at her. And she's like, he lost his mom when he was really little. And he wonders if this is how a mother and child are. And Washu says, I know that that's how she was with you. Which
Without skipping a beat, just like that is how your mother was.
And why does she know, Doug?
She doesn't. She's she's.
No.
I took it as she's just assuming that all mothers. She was saying that all mothers are like this.
That's the good part. She does feel that way, like that's how the mothers are. But also she shares a memory. She shares memory with Ryoko. Ryoko watched Tenchi be raised by his mother.
Oh,
so she knows.
That's also adorable. Oh,
yeah. That's knowing that context.
Yeah,
makes it like that is where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start crying because
because in my head,
she's trying to have that connection.
It was like,
to be like
all mothers are, which is a very sweet sentiment. But then to be like, no, your mother was an even more like impactful personal sentiment.
Doug's like, I gotta rewatch this episode.
I gotta watch it the third time. Yeah, boot it up.
Let's do it. So Taro calls for Mama at Washu, and she has to like sadly say like, I'm not your mom. And she starts to cry and hugs him. And I just wrote, God damn this episode. Cause that's when I start to, like I'm already.
I was not expecting that at all from this.
Getting misty. So Ken, I get you there. Like,
yeah, it's like me talking about Mr. Satan at the end of the Boo arc. I get it.
So next morning, Washu cooking breakfast in the morning. Tenchi greets her and then hears the doorbell. And then he comes back and just like says her name, and he's got this very solemn look on his face because like he knows like how special this has been for her.
Yeah,
and like it's not animated; it's just a still shot, but like I don't know,
you know,
but
it
feel
hits
it.
Me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like the way he says it and the way he's looking is just like this is gonna hurt you, but you know it's time.
Yeah. So all the girls are tired, standing out there as they're giving the baby back to Tenchi's aunt and the baby's dad.
Is it the dad or is that the uncle? No, the uncle might be dead or whatever. I don't know.
It's not Tenchi's dad. Taro's dad.
No. Right.
That's Taro's dad. Okay. Because they look they could be the same age, the aunt and the other guy.
Right. Yeah. I want to say that it's Taro's dad because the mom just recovered from an illness, but she's still at home. Yeah.
Okay. Not that it matters, but yeah.
So I also noticed like Washu, says like, oh, it wasn't super hard, because if I had all these other girls that were here with me. But in the Japanese, I don't think it sounds like she's doing the little kid voice, like she's doing the English dub. And I like that in the dub of her being, like, oh, I'm also just a little girl, but, I did a good job, but I had all these other great people here with me.
Well, she's trying to mask her like connection to the baby by saying like it wasn't all me when it really was. Well, for the most part, a lot her. It's like no, these girls helped equally, kind of thing. Well I don't know. I get that is a nice sentiment, but us seeing it firsthand, it's like you were the one in charge, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even Tenchi says so. Like you work really hard.
Mm-hmm. And she doesn't want to take the responsibility for it, which is cute. Like not something that I think of Washu wanting to give credit to other people, not that she
like just the Washu Mihoshi Special we just saw recognition. As long as the universe can explode, as long as I get recognition.
And the aunt says that Sasami is welcome to come visit the baby anytime, which plops that thing in your head of like
Sasami again.
Not been in this episode doing jack at all. Very interesting. Washu, you can tell she's lying and she's like, all right, thank God that baby's gone. But then, she sees the dad walking away and then, suddenly we're back in the memory of like that one other place and another man carrying the baby away.
One guy, yeah.
And that's when Washu opens up, and I love the direction of this where her eyes are out of frame. It's just like from the nose down as she like kind of talks about this. So like you just get to imagine the emotions going through her mind.
Because one teardrop does start to fall before she says like, I used to be a mom. And like, man.
Yeah. She explains to Tenchi that she had a baby once and that he was a member of the Royal Space Academy when they were both students. She loved him and they had a baby. He was from a prestigious family. And while she was gone, messengers came and took him and the baby away, saying, lineage, social status, why should such things matter so much? If that's what matters to adults, she'd rather just be a child and never grow up. Like,
wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That's why she stays little Washu.
Mm-hmm.
The dub says 20,000 years, but then that Japanese doesn't say. She just says, I think, just thousands of years.
Yeah,
because that's how old she is. So. The dub is paying attention to the lore.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad some series is. But yeah, it was Such a sad moment.
There's so much depth to Washu suddenly because we just had her in that one time, and then of course her weird thing with Tenchi is an experiment in episode 7, and then suddenly here we go, fully formed character,
and
with
then
so much
immediately flips.
Yeah,
Well,
immediately.
It's a great way to break the tension because Tenchi is emotional hearing this story, and like, I just wish there was something I could do to help, and like goes to hug a child face first into sudden breasts.
And because she got taller.
Yeah, Washu, fully formed adult.
And then she starts talking like this.
That was that was a bad choice in the dub. In the Japanese version, I was like, because I used the Japanese version for this. I'm like, is that intentional, or is that they tried to go for sultry older woman voice and they just failed miserably?
You can just call me Washu now.
As the dub goes, the performance like levels out to be less childish and more just like, this is the Washu voice. But yeah,
she could have just used her regular voice.
This was just a very strange, I won't say it's a bad choice. It was a strange choice to make.
Well, I'm thinking again, like just the mindset of a voice actor back in the time where anime is new. You watch the Japanese version to get a feel of what the voice is now, and all you pick up on is, oh, it sounds a little more deeper, so let me just do that. And they didn't get, no, that's like sultry. You know what I mean?
I don't know exactly how the dubbing process worked in 1995.
You weren't there?
If I wasn't
in the booth with them.
If they would get like, here is, what the original line reading was, and like to get a feel of it, because like, I don't know, you're not going to wheel in a giant CRT for something like that now.
Maybe not even the intent either, because it's like here's the episode. We're not showing you future episodes. Like this is what it is now. This person is now taller, older. Right. I don't know, but taller kind of thing. So just go pick a voice.
Legitimately, though, it doesn't bother me at all because it's such a goofy moment already that we're in.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not like sitting here judging this voice used in this absurdity that's going on. It's like, no, it's just as absurd as maybe it needs to be.
It hits you to be weird, but then you immediately are just like into the comedy of it all because, it's just
Sorry, no, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
We're live. I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, then I'll jump in and say that right as she starts, doing that like weird voice, she does level it back out before it's all over. So it's not. Yeah, but she's not doing this forced like strange sounding voice. It's
I
probably
think because now in hindsight, I know what this trope is, so I know what the intent of what the voice should be, and because it's not, that's when I picked up on it. But I think if I watched this back then, I would have gotten it like, okay, yeah, it's just older, voice.
She does have some funny deliveries because then she, says that she wants to have a new baby with Tenchi since her other one is gone, and he can just call her Washu instead of little Washu. I like that Ryoko just full on like slaps Washu, and like Ryoko's reaction is like, "Did I just do that? Like, did I just slap her?" Washu was just
it's all instinct, just like immediately, like just get away from him.
Washu does a very funny like backflip in the air before landing, and she's just like got a cloth to like wipe away the pain from getting slapped.
Your mother.
Mommy, my butt. It's just such a good like Ryoko delivery for that.
I love this exchange where then like she flips Ryoko into the water, and then
you don't understand how a mother feels. I'm so sad.
Ayeka comes, starts berating her for like talking like that with your married woman, and then Ryoko comes back out of nowhere and like she punches her back in the water. You see her like woo, and, like jump in the water. Such
you gotta have more Ayeka and Ryoko violence. That's what's
so great.
Really makes rivalry. These. Yeah, Washu saying that like she had a husband and that was 20,000 years ago. So whatever. I like that Tenchi has not moved. He's still like facing the other way. His hair is just bonkers. And then as the girls are arguing, just Washu is instantly back right next to her. It's like, oh, these girls are always fighting. What the hell?
What? Where'd you come from?
And then, they're shouting and yelling at each other, and then we pan out and then move over to the house.
And the music changes. The music gets
ominous.
Dark. Oh my God. It gave me like a whoa, what's unsettling feeling.
Yeah. Just Sasami's zoned out looking out the window. Doesn't say anything before then, just boop. Let's just fade out.
I'm yelling at the screen. you're not going to cut to black on this, are you? You're not going to fade out. You're fading out. Why are you fading out? What's happening to Sasami? this precious girl who's always happy and chipper and just like the sunshine of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to see her that way.
I'm so glad that you're emotionally invested in the show and its characters, Doug. That's, that was my worry because Ken
you reminded me in the beginning that it's because she's seeing night visions of Tenchi dying. I'm like, oh, that's it. But I know her character's so passionate about and caring that would affect her in that way. But for me, it's like, oh, that's it. Okay.
Well, I do apologize because I did push to do the Mihoshi special. That means we didn't get to do the next episode, which is going to give you. You
went from the ending of the 6 episodes where she's like dark and like sees the night terrors to then Sailor Moon Sasami to then back to Dark Sasami. That ruins everything.
Dark Sasami. Really messing with you.
Dark Sasami.
But yeah, that's where that ends. I mean, we do get a new ending theme. I have the button. I can play the song, but
just a smidgen
for 10 seconds.
I just like that.
It almost sounds like Sonic Adventure.
It does very much like that Emerald Coast.
Speaking of Sonic, no, cut me off. Let's not talk about Sonic.
Major downgrade from Talent for Love.
I agree in that it's not as high energy and exciting, but like I don't know, this song is just melancholy and beautiful in a way that I normally don't dig, but for this I just really like. I like it a lot.
Melancholy would be a good vibe.
The Lonely Moon.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Because she's pretty Sasami or whatever. What's the thing called?
Ryo-Ohki. Oh
no, the Sailor Moon version.
Pretty Sammy.
Pretty Sammy.
Yeah.
Like Pretty Cure, like that Sailor Moon kind of thing. Or is that not a thing back then?
That is like Pretty Sammy. You gotta think about which came first, Doug.
Whoa.
I mean, because the show Sailor Moon is called, Bishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon, which is Pretty Guardian. So Pretty Guardian, Pretty Sammy.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's it. That's the end of that one. And
all right, which means it's time.
Great episode.
Guys, what was going on in the world of Dragon Ball and the world of the Backstreet Boys? I'm sure Doug's got everything prepped here.
Snap.
So
yeah, I do.
We'll kind
Go
of jump
ahead.
in here to the world of Dragon Ball. If
what year was this again?
What was going on in the manga? End of 1994.
Yeah, this is September 94.
We're at the point now where Piccolo is like, "Hey, Boo, why don't you kill everyone on Earth?" Iconic Piccolo moment.
Totally normal former Guardian behavior.
Yeah, he's like, we could just use the Dragon Ball. We can just use the Dragon Balls Dende. There you go.
Beautiful.
Elder Kaioshin, not a fan of this. And then in the anime, we were pretty far behind at this point. And Goku is at the temple suggesting that Goten and Trunks learn fusion.
Okay, so he's still around and his time on Earth. Okay.
Yeah. So as you're watching Tenchi, you're thinking of Gotenks and you're thinking all that kind of stuff. That's the mindset you were in when you're watching Tenchi in 1994. And then what was the ear set of people in 1994?
Oh, and people's ears are going.
Ear set.
We're about to be blown off their sockets. Let me tell you, Ken, because in 1994, at the end of December, the Backstreet Boys flew to Sweden to record one of their most famous tracks, actually their first major hit single, We've Got It Going On. Yeah, we've got it. Is that how it goes? I don't know. But yeah, it's a hit.
Never heard it.
We've got it going on, baby.
All right, Doug, I don't want to get copyright claim.
Yeah, that's the closest we're going to get to getting DMCA. That's Backstreet's got it. All
right. So yeah, that's the good to know all that history. What was going on in Dragon Ball?
You're welcome.
It's live. I don't know what I'm doing. So we've got some skeets. We got some skeet replies. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, but first we're going to take a quick break.
Oh yeah. Let's just take that quick break, and we'll be right back. We're back, and now we get to hear what you guys had to say about these episodes. And we got somebody back, special guest, Lance. I mean, he's not here, but he did respond.
In skeet form?
He skeeted right back at us.
All right.
That felt wrong to say.
You had to ruin it.
I did.
Cut it out. Oh, we're live? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we can't cut nothing out, man. Not doing that. Lance says Tenchi loves recasting its characters in different roles, be it time and space adventures or Pretty Sammy, or even just the multiple traditional continuities. And the Mihoshi Special really helped get the ball rolling on that front. Mix that with the confusing canon immigrant, here today, gone tomorrow usage of Kione, and you're set for, while not top tier Tenchi, a logic-bending delight. Hello Baby, I would say, is top tier Tenchi, doing what it does best, mixing slice of life mundanity and sci-fi hijinks to produce an unexpectedly tear-jerking ending. Given that Washu never got much of a chance for a showcase prior to this, it's the perfect time to give her the spotlight. Oh, and also she can't just grow into an adult when she wants to. Why not? Like so much of 90s Tenchi, you just got to roll with it. Like,
but you make a good point that like it's very much just a story of taking care of a baby, but with the Tenchi flavor on it, and it's so good.
Yeah, you think
We got a
back.
super chat.
Sorry, go ahead.
Super chat here. Jacob Sawyer.
Jacob. Thank you.
And instead of just replying to the skeet, Jacob said, "No, here's some cash money, young money. Gonna write in.
Hey.
Love you guys. Glad to see this going. Tenchi rules. Thank you, Jacob.
Thanks,
Heck
Jacob.
yeah.
Glad
you're watching.
Glad you're watching for our first ever live stream.
Yeah,
Exactly. Glad that you're watching us, and also glad that you're watching Tenchi, and you think that it rules. So you have good taste, and we're proud of you for that. Oh man, we got some chat stuff going off. I'm liking to see this. Alex
thank
Ramsey
you to Alex
says,
too.
yeah, I don't know shit about this show, but watch the pod just to hear you guys banter. Aw, thank you, man.
That's also like a special. You're here for the vibes, and we love that. Thank you.
Yeah, same thing for matches. Thank you guys.
we're just background noise, and you just here's booty, and like what?
So to get back to what Lance was talking about here.
Yes, let's get back to Lance.
When we watched episode 7, I said this is what I remember Tenchi being about, and it's like this is that kind of episode where we've slowed down and we're getting like character episodes. And so like this was Washu's one, and it's so great. And yeah, it's just starts off so crazy, and then it's just like, hey, you know what? We're gonna hit you straight in the heart, and you're not gonna see it coming.
No, this is coming back from a break, because we had OVA 1, we had some side stuff, and we do this, and it's like, okay, cool. I'm excited to see where this sci-fi funny adventure goes. And the first thing it does is punch you right in the heart.
Yeah.
You're gonna have some tears.
And I'm always so impressed by TV episodes that can do this within an episode, hell, within half an episode, because movies spend their entire runtime trying to get this emotion out of you by the ending. But this one gives it to us in like 20 minutes. It's incredible.
And I know that I brought it up before that this, whole series was started by two people over at AIC, and Hiroki Hayashi was kind of like the lead writer for this whole thing. He left after OVA 1, so this is no longer his show. I don't think Masaki Kajishima is writing all the things. He's definitely coming up with all the lore. Things start to go bonkers. This guy is just going wild. He's writing some books and some things, and those get, turned into episodes and like, canon lore for things. But I didn't look up to see who wrote this one, but like, whew, you guys got some writing chops. So that's very, very good. Giving a new character the spotlight and like, I don't know, just really going for it. And I'm very impressed with that. It's definitely one of those episodes that cements Washu as one of my favorite characters in this whole cast. Ryoko is always going to be top tier, but she gets so much screen time and development.
That's what I really enjoyed about the episode I wasn't supposed to watch with the Mecha Washu, where Ryoko and Ayaka kind of get the back seat, like get that sitting back seat, and like the other characters get to shine and have their moments. It felt really nice. I mean, they were still involved, but very much in the back seat.
I'm excited to get to Tenchi Universe because I'm pretty sure that's what you watched, and I've seen it a few times, but it's always kind of been whenever I want to watch Tenchi, I don't watch Universe because I'm like, it's so long, and like, I don't know, I don't have as much fondness.
More Tenchi. There was a great moment in that episode too. I'm just gonna gush about it because I didn't watch it for nothing. Okay, I know.
Yeah.
There was one moment where there's an atomic volleyball that got veered over to where Ayaka and Ryoko are by accident. They're like miles away, but the atomic volleyball gets thrown over there, and then you hear Ryoko, Patricia going like, oh no. I'm like, wow, did she really like do a really bad job acting? No, that was an intentional sarcasm where she says, oh no, then pushes Ayeka in front of the volleyball to get blown up. But yeah,
Doug, this is one
so
name
good.
I'm not going to allow you to get wrong.
I'm sorry. Sorry, correct me.
It's Patria.
Patria. Sorry, yeah, I got Patricia on my mind.
You're just so excited to talk about Tenchi, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. You know, after the doldrums and the sadness that we had for talking about another show.
I just meant
recently.
respect to her because she did it. I thought it was like,
Doug.
what is with this? Intentional.
As I leaned into the microphone, I saw Randy's face perk up because he knew what I was about to
I could just tell.
Good thing we're not live.
Yeah, exactly. We could cut all this out. Uh-oh. Jeez. Okay, so I'm taking a look here. I don't think there's anything else. Are we really done with the episode? Oh, man.
Good stuff.
I think so.
I know.
Yeah. So Lance, thank you for writing in. I assume you'll continue to write in, and we'll have to see if your opinions and ours diverge. I'm really looking forward to when the show supposedly falls apart, because I think that's when the knives are going to come out on this show. And we had the knives out a lot in our Daima coverage, and I kind of miss it. So like we're all just on the same page here. Yeah.
Yeah. Once OVA 3 hits, because I know that my first impression, I did not like it, but over time I've learned to love it. So it'll be interesting to see how you guys, especially Doug, feels when we get to that stuff.
I can't handle the disappointment. Please don't make me.
It's not disappointing. You'll learn to love it just like I did. It's an acquired taste.
Just like Sonic.
Yeah. So as always, I don't want to get into that. I'm just going to go on by it.
Yep.
I don't want to get Doug canceled. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching live and interacting with us, especially high five. Super great thanks to Matches Peaches and Jacob Sawyer for their super chats. Love to see it. New episode of our Dragon Ball podcast, or the regular one, drops tomorrow. So if you're listening live, if you're not, it's already out. You can go listen to it. You probably already heard it. But that comes out. I don't think you guys know, I'm a CEO now. So
whoa.
It's pretty exciting. Well, okay, I am the sole proprietor of an LLC. We got a podcast LLC. So look out. I get to
what's your monthly income? 10 cents?
I don't want to talk about it. It's a nonprofit.
As a CEO, it's a nonprofit.
It's not set up as a.
We don't do the profit, CEO.
It's not set up.
You need to be real careful what you say for legal reasons.
I know. It's not set up.
Bitch.
It's not set up as a nonprofit. It's just that we don't make any. So technically,
the word is not profit. There you go.
Nonprofit. But we're making a profit tonight from those super chats. So thank you guys very, very much.
And thank you to the rest of you for tuning in as well. Like just being a part of the chat and just sounding off. I was afraid no one would show up at all. So I'm glad you guys did show up. It's great.
When I did the test stream and all of a sudden people started jumping in, I was like, what?
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, this is our first time doing something like this. So hopefully it works out. And, if you didn't catch this live, you didn't see the announcement or whatever, we're going to do this again unless something comes up, which is going to be April 15th, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. You could do the math to figure out where else it is. I can't go through all 24 time zones with you right now. That's just going to be wild. I don't even know the names of them outside of like 4 of them. So, I don't know.
I was shocked to learn that there are 24 time zones, and I'm like, oh yeah, idiot. Of course there are.
Yeah, man. Wild when you think about it. So, stay with us in the conversation. You post us at our Blue Sky at wegottapodcast.com. Of course, you can also email us at wegottapod@gmail.com.
You can find me at DreBazDoug, and Bai finally gave me a affiliate link. So if you guys want to sign up with that code, we have it on I think just the description of the videos, but yeah, Bai, sign up, you get 10% off coupon. I'm not chilling out for them. 90% of my collection is literally from Bai before they even started sponsoring me. So yeah, it's incredible. But yeah.
Doug, you're going to have to give us that info to put those in the description.
I will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just guess. Just type in Doug.
Ken, where can people find you?
You can find me at detectivex.bsky.social.
That's great. And what affiliate links do you have to share? None?
None. I don't even have the energy right now to make up fake ones.
That's fair.
Awesome fake ones for you next time.
All right, there we go. And you can find me on Blue Sky. Just look up Saberbreaker, but the whole long thing is, at Saberbreaker, wegottapodcast.com, that whole thing.
All right, that brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you guys for those of you who've been here live for joining us on our what has truly been an experiment. I'm guessing the audio levels have been okay.
Oh, yeah.
So no one has really said anything. And I know when anyone streams anything ever, that's the first thing people in chat say is, game's too loud. Can't hear you. So I guess we did okay. So, woo. And that brings us to the end. Guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Next time, we'll be watching Tenchi OVA 2, episodes 2 and 3. Okay.
Can you snapshot that for me, Randy, so I know what to look for?
Yeah.
Randy's got to reorganize his Plex, and then Doug, I think, will be okay.
Just stay out of that season 1. You're done there. Don't look at
Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2, subcategory 5.
If you're looking at other places that just categorize the entire OVA 1 and 2 as like sequential episodes, it's episodes 9 and 10. So there's also that. Just to make it more confusing.
We've got episodes coming out every week now with both Tenchi and Dragon Ball. So we'll catch you on Matsunator, but sooner than you think.
So, bye.
See you guys.